What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another scooter video. My name is Chase Rost if you guys are new to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to can plant. Before we dive right into Canplants, let's talk about a couple things that you guys need to do. For starters, let's put on our helmets. It's so important that you guys wear a helmet in every trick that you guys are trying. It's just going to keep you in the sport a lot longer and keep you from getting hurt. But now that we got the helmet and safety out of the way, let's talk about some things that you guys need to be able to do before trying a can plant. Now that is going to be scooter control. You want to have the basic of scooter control down. You want to be able to weave through cones, do bunny hops, and preferably if you're going to be trying it on a ramp like this, you're going to want to at least know how to drop in. It's going to make the trick a lot easier when it comes to hopping back onto your scooter and actually riding down the transitions. But now that we got the basics out of the way, let's jump into step number one. Rolling right into step number one, let's go ahead and talk about first off, what is a can plant? A can plant is a simple trick where your front foot, regardless if you're goofy or regular, it's going to be your front foot is standing in front of your scooter like this. Now your back foot is back here by the brake of your scooter, and you're going to be holding on to your scooter just like this in the air. This right here is a can plant. Now a can plant's cool because you can send it on quarter pipes, you can send it on the flat ground, you can send it in stalls, you can just basically combine it with a lot of tricks, which is why I like this trick so much, because all you're doing is just doing a little foot plant, just like that. Cool, now that we know what a can plant is, let's go ahead and move on to the core steps to learning this trick. Let's go ahead and practice getting balanced while in the can plant, because we know what a can plant is now. Now we gotta train our body to get comfortable just being in this position. So real quick, just go ahead and do this a couple of times. Hop on and hop off your scooter just like this, making sure that you can comfortably stay in the position while your wheels are up in the air just like that. Now while you're lifting the wheels up in the air, you're lifting your scooter and your back foot all in one, just like this. So you guys can practice this motion right here to make sure that you guys can keep your scooter deck attached to your feet while lifting your scooter up. So again, we're getting back into that can plant, lifting our scooter up just like that, getting back on the scooter deck, and we're good to go. But now let's talk about keeping our core tight, because the core is one of the most important steps to this entire trick. If you guys can keep your core tight while practicing this trick, you're gonna be able to hop into it and then hop back onto your scooter while remaining balanced. So again, we're standing on a scooter just like this. This is why I want you guys to practice at home, right in your driveways. You guys can hop right in front of your scooter, just like that, and then practice bringing that foot back onto the scooter, just like that. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna practice this motion over and over again. We're gonna start from back here, roll a little bit forward, hop off the scooter, hop back on the scooter, just like that. Kind of picture like you're doing like hopscotch, or you're playing like jump rope where you're jumping and you're having to like jump back onto the scooter. So you're hopping off, hopping back on, hopping off, hopping back on. Now that we're comfortable hopping into the can plant and hopping back onto our scooter deck, it's time for the fun part, and that is attempting the can plant on top of a quarter pipe. But hold up. Before we jump into straight ascending it on a quarter pipe, let's talk about a couple steps that you guys can do to make this trick a lot easier when it comes to sending it on your first quarter pipe. So for starters, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get comfortable sitting on top of the ramp just like this, hopping into a can plant about a foot away from the coping. If you guys get comfortable doing this, it's gonna make the trick a lot easier because you're not gonna be fearful that you're just gonna fall and face plant into the quarter pipe. So now that we're comfortable hopping into the can plant right up here on top of the ramp, right next to the coping, now let's talk about actually getting into the ramp. Now this is the scary part for a lot of people, because when your foot's in the can plant and you're leaning into the ramp, a lot of people fear the deck hitting the back of their leg right here when they go to jump in. The way to avoid this is to hop with your foot up first. You gotta make sure that you're hopping with your foot on the ground. So I would practice doing that a couple times before actually attempting it on your first quarter pipe. But now let's talk about how we're actually gonna get into the quarter pipe. So from this point right here, we're in the can plant, we're leaning forward, we're keeping our head inside the ramp. It's really important that you keep all your body weight inside the ramp, that way you can get back into the actual quarter pipe. So then from this point right here, we're looking into the ramp and we're gonna hop. And at this point when we hop, we're bringing our foot back onto the scooter, just like we were practicing on the flat ground. And we're gonna tie this all in together now. So we're up here on the coping just like this, and now we're gonna hop, lift the foot back on, and roll right into the ramp, just like this. Now we're gonna wanna practice this step quite a bit because it's gonna be a lot easier from a stationary position right here, dropping in from a can plant, as opposed to coming out of the ramp, hopping into it, and then going back in. It's gonna be a lot easier if we just from a starter, starting from a neutral position right here. So again, let's practice this together. We're going to hop straight up and then pull our foot back onto the deck and ride straight in just like a normal drop-in. Cool, we now have the hardest part of this entire trick out of the way, and that is of course getting back into the ramp. Now coming out of the ramp is a super easy step because all we're doing is just doing like we did on the flat ground when we were rolling straight ahead and hopping off onto our scooter. The only difference is now we're coming out to the outside of the ramp with a little bit more speed. So the way to approach this trick is we want to go decently slow, just enough to basically do a feeble. If we're going any faster than that, we're going to end up throwing our body weight way too far forward and we're going to go just outside the quarter pipe just like this, too far. So again, we're going to want to approach it like we're doing a feeble, just like not too much speed, but just enough to get out of the ramp up above the coping. So when we're approaching the quarter pipe just like this, we're going to let our front wheel come up above the coping. And at this point right here, as your back wheel is coming out of the ramp, this is when we're going to shift our front foot from off the deck onto the coping right here. So the goal is, again, right as our back wheel is leaving the coping right here, front foot moves from off the deck onto the top deck next to the coping. And from that point right there, we're going to tie it back to what we were just talking about, where we hop back in and bring that front foot back onto the deck. By now, you guys should be super close and almost ready to send your very own cam plant. But now let's go ahead and tie all these steps together. So we're going to come out of the quarter pipe, do a cam plant on top of this top deck right here, and then hop back in all in one motion. While you guys are attempting your first couple ones, I want to make a couple points real quick. Make sure you're keeping all your body weight inside the quarter pipe. This is going to make it so much easier to actually getting back into the ramp, and as well, it's going to keep your balance forward instead of back, so that way you're not leaning back and falling off your scooter this way. Our goal is to get back into the ramp, not fly out of the ramp, of course. So let's go ahead and do another one real quick. Now, if you guys notice, as I come out of the ramp, I'm absorbing the impact with my knee. We don't want to go straight leg to this thing. It's going to end up hurting us, or it's going to hurt our back more importantly. So let's go ahead and absorb this impact with our knee right here and make sure that we can get comfortable being able to absorb and then hop back in. You guys, if you want to make it a smooth transition, the goal is to hop up on here, absorb, and then all in one, push back off. So again, coming up, absorb, hop back in. Now the ability to be able to do it quick like that is really going to come down to leg strength. So I would recommend being able to do this motion right here. We're just going to sit like this with our one foot out and just stay balanced and see if you guys can do that motion. Same thing you do with your other foot if you're doing it the other way, just like this. Make sure you guys have that leg strength to be able to hold your entire body up, hop back off just like that. You guys can also practice just one foot hops just like that. Let's go ahead and do another one. Before we wrap up today's tutorial, I want to leave you guys with one more quick tip that you guys can think about while trying this trick, and that is pivoting on your front foot. While this foot is down on the ground, you guys need to think about rotating your body, because after all, we're doing a 180 with this trick. So if you guys just stand straight, stick straight out like this, come out of the ramp and land like this, how are you going to get back into the ramp? You gotta pivot your body like that. So while doing this, we're gonna come out of the ramp, land in a 90 so our front foot is parallel with the coping right here. And then the rest of the way, we're gonna pivot, and then we're gonna just hop back in. Are we all on the same page? Good. That right there is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys now are one step closer to landing your very first can plant. If you guys have already landed your first can plant or are getting really close, go down in the comments and let me know. I would love to hear how you guys are doing. Also, if you guys need any more help, I'll be down there and I try to respond to every single comment. So if you guys comment, even if this video is a couple years old, I try my best to respond to every single comment, just so you guys can learn the best way, because I really care about what you guys are learning. If you guys are learning the tricks, I want to know if you're learning them. If you're still having trouble, let me know. Also, while you guys are down there in the comments, give me a big old thumbs up, because I work really hard on these videos to make sure that I can put the best content out there for you guys to learn the best tricks possible. But that's going to do it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Oh, wait, can't forget. If you guys want to learn a trick, make sure to comment it down below in the comments, and I'll try my best to get to it in the next video. But now it's going to do it for today's video. Later.